Hey guys, today I'm going to be teaching you the basics of a burnout. Now, burnout is something most people can do depending on the vehicle they drive. Now, today's vehicle is a 1987 Camaro Sports Coupe. It's equipped with a V8 305 engine, 5-speed manual transmission, and a limited slip differential. Now, the basics of a burnout is pretty easy, and I'll show you how this is done. Alright, now say you want to do a burnout, and hopefully you are not in an automatic transmission. Automatic transmissions can do a burnout just fine. It's a lot better to do it in a manual. It just takes more control. Now, if you don't know how to drive a manual transmission, or if you're just learning how to do this, this is a basic setup for any manual transmission as far as pedals go. Underneath you have the clutch pedal right here, brake, and gas, just like pretty much any other car. Over here you have the manual transmission. H pattern, first, second, third, fourth, fifth. You're not going to need any of that, but maybe first, well obviously first, and maybe second. So you're wanting to do this burnout. You're sitting there and you're about to do it. This is how I would do it. I would first put the clutch in all the way, move the shifter into first gear, sitting there with the car running, start giving it gas. Work it just a little bit, raise your RPMs until you're ready to launch, and just hammer it. Completely off the clutch, 100% and on the gas. Also, just for FYI, probably want to hold your first gear in. That sudden shock tends to want to pop out of first gear just from the jolt. Now, depending on how much power you have, what kind of setup you have in your car, if you don't want to do too much damage off the bat, just with doing a hardcore burnout, I do recommend, if you don't have the power, maybe put a little water on your tires. That way you'll brake traction a hell of a lot easier, not damage the transmission, rear end, or even worse, engine. So you're doing a burnout, you're gassing it, gassing it, gassing it. You want to watch your RPMs. You don't want to raise those too high. Easy to bang an engine. Extremely easy to blow a rod, anything like that. Do not redline it. As far as the burnout goes, it's pretty easy. A lot of guys, they tend to bog down. The reason why they're bogging down is because their foot's on the clutch, it's in first, they're gassing it, and then they just barely tap the gas before they launch on it. They release out of the clutch, bam, they're barely touching. You need to be on that. You need to be gas, gas, raise your RPMs, watch your RPM tag, and bam, launch it. Spin the tires. Once they start spinning, they're going to keep spinning. If you don't have enough RPMs built up, you will drop and stall. There's pretty much no question about that, unless you have power. That's basically the fundamentals of a burnout. It's extremely simple to do, as long as you know exactly what you're doing. So just to overview, car's in neutral, you're sitting there running. Obviously it's in neutral here. The clutch pedal, you're putting in clutch, shifting it into first, you're holding it into first. It will pop out depending on the make and model of your vehicle. Gassing it, getting ready. You really don't have to pump the gas, it's just something that you're pretty much going to do. Raise your RPMs, bam, launch off. Full throttle. Remember to watch your RPMs. You do not want to go too high. You're starting to get in the 5, 6s, you're too high. Now, if you've done this before, obviously you know what you're doing. Once you get comfortable, you really want to generate a lot of smoke. While your RPMs are high, extremely quick, clutch, second gear, gas. You will smoke tires and probably pop them faster than you ever imagined. That is the basics of a burnout, and I hope this is informational for who is ever watching. Later.